Welcome to the Pawfectly Unleashed, a podcast where four friends talk about dog mom life, mental health, and everything in between. Today, we are going to do our mental health check-in in the form of bra or no bra. Nikki, do you want to take it away?
Sure. As much as this hurts, I feel very bra this week. As if anyone needs any explanation on this, bra's the bad one. It's just been a week. Yeah, that's that's all I got. What about you, Alexis?
I'm actually no bra. It really wasn't that bad of a week for me. I've just been hanging out, so been doing my own thing. It's all right. Caroline, how about you?
I'm feeling push-up bra, guys. It has been such a bad week.
The worst
that is
kind.
way worse than bra. The worst kind of bra you can have. It's just been such a bad week. I'm just struggling a lot. Skylar had an accident and had to have emergency surgery on Tuesday night. It is currently Thursday. So we've had 2 nights of it, having her suffering in her crate, dealing with her pain, and my high energy working dog being stuck in a crate for 2 days straight. It's been rough. I'm not going to go into detail about what happened, but it's been a week, guys. I told the girl before, I was like, I am one snap away from just like having a full mental breakdown. So we're trying to get through it, but yeah, definitely push up bra. Britt, how about you?
I'm feeling very no bra. I'm actually preparing to go on my honeymoon on Sunday, so I'm very excited for that. A very well-deserved unplugged week, and I cannot be happier. I mean, I'm going to miss you guys, but I can't wait to be on a beach. I will.
Yeah. That's very exciting. I'm so excited for you and nervous for your followers' sake because I'm the one that's taking over the Instagram.
Honestly, I might lose some followers to you. I might be like, wait, why am I following Britt? I should be following Nikki.
Or both. Both is the answer.
I would like to say, even though this week has been very challenging, we do have some good news to share with you guys. We finally got our own pup merch.
Yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see, but me and Britt are currently wearing it. We have our little pup logo, and we are so excited to be able to share it with you guys, and we hope that you enjoy it. The sweatshirt I'm wearing right now is so unbelievably comfortable, and we're just so happy to be able to release it to you guys. So the merch will be in the description of both our YouTube and our Spotify, and you can also find it in our bio on Instagram. So definitely go check it out and get you some pup merch.
And if you do happen to buy one, tag us on Instagram so that we can share.
Yeah,
see it and share it on our story.
We know some of you already have, and it probably has come in by the time that you're hearing this episode. So let us see it on you.
Yes.
This week, we thought it would be fun to talk about our different lives in different areas of the country. So this is going to be focused around on how we kind of do things differently with our dogs in the city and in, I want to say the country because I hate the word rural because it's hard to say, but rural is the right word that I'm trying to go for here.
I respect that. I get tongue-tied all the time.
I think I did a pretty good job, to be honest. I'm very happy with how
you did.
But the anxiety leading up to saying that word was rough.
I'm not going to even attempt it.
Me either. We'll just call it country. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Country and city life. I think that's good. You got the two C's.
It
kind of goes better.
It feels like you would live in the country if you walk into your backyard and there are cows, but who am I? We all know how I feel about cows at this point. Anyway, so Britt and I live in the city, and Alexis and Caroline live in the country. So that's your preface. And we're just going to tell you about all of the things that we do differently that we didn't even really realize that we did until we started chatting.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's very. Oh, sorry.
No,
I will say it's very interesting seeing or listening, being on the phone with Brittney and Nikki when they're walking in the city, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And Nikki was like, "Oh, someone's just yelling because someone got too close to them, and this and that." And I'm like, "Are you okay? Like, should I be concerned for your safety?" And she was like, "No, this is normal." And I'm like, if someone was yelling, there would be like 20 cops immediately showing up. Like, there would be like, there's a problem. Like, there's something huge is happening. Everyone's yelling. And Nikki was like, "No, it's good." And I was like,
no.
Okay, so that's.
Do you want to move to a different corner, maybe?
Yeah, I was like, maybe we should keep it moving. Like, we shouldn't sit here. But that was like a huge difference for me. It's just like knowing to get your dog to exercise, you have to walk them.
I have to see people
city.
Around people and cars.
Bizarre to me.
Sometimes I have the girls track my location if I have to walk the dogs at an odd time of day. My preference is that we're on a video call and they're tracking my location. So that happens a lot. And I think, to be honest, I really scared Caroline with that one. She probably tracks my location more often than
we just watch her little dot. We just watch her little dot and we're like,
oh yeah,
2 buildings away from her house. Like, she's
I regularly check on Britt and Nikki. I'm like, are we safe today? What's going on? Are we good? Like, are we home?
Where are we?
And there's me, like, I'm either in the woods, at work, or at the river.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. So I do have to say, living in New York, I feel a little bit more comfortable walking around with my dogs. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, no offense, Nikki, I'm more concerned for you because yours are a little bit more smaller. Not that
I feel the
couldn't protect
opposite.
you if you need. What do you mean?
Like, your dogs make you feel more safe. Arguably, mine make me feel more vulnerable. Not because
that's what I was.
They're not because of their size. Because in my neighborhood where I live, they are sought after types of dogs. So, and a lot of dogs of their type of dogs get stolen in the city. Like, people will have their houses broken into. I worry about when I'm home by myself and they're in the window. But that's like my biggest fear, is that someone's going to stop and tell me that give them the dogs or whatever. You can use your imagination to figure out the rest of that. And I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would be able to get, like, I think whatever you used your imagination for would be the outcome for me, because I would not give up my dog.
You'd go in like
that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like, I feel more, not even when I'm walking Quinn, I feel the safest when I'm walking Ivy.
Yeah.
I feel the safest. That's why I usually walk Ivy in pairs with like Quinn. My older two don't really go on long walks anymore. I used to feel very safe with them. But yeah, Ivy is definitely my safe dog, you could say, because I definitely feel like nobody's going to come up to me. And yeah, because if somebody does come up to me and she feels that, I guess, like, anxiety that I get, she kind of is like, no, we're not going to do this. You're too close to me. So
I love it.
I took Hudson on a trip and stopped at a rest stop on the way back, and this guy was circling my car, and I was like, I don't like this. And little me, I'm from the country, so I'm like, what do I do? Like, this isn't normal. So I'm like, Hudson, today you're going into the bathroom with me. So I got him out of the car and he goes into the bathroom. And of course, he's freaking out. He doesn't know what's happening, why he's in a bathroom of a public place. And honestly, Hudson probably would have done nothing. But just having him there, like, no one's going to take me and my dog. Like, I mean, they might, but it's less likely of an outcome of someone messing with the dog. So it's just weird how, like, I was like, oh, what do I do? I can't leave him in the car. It's just
like,
weird.
What if
how,
something
like,
happened?
That's probably normal for you guys. Like, seeing people walk
to
around
be fair,
you.
even it being normal, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
100%.
I would have brought my dogs. I would have been like,
so
potty trip.
Interesting. Yeah, like that concept is so, I mean, I have these conversations with you guys so many times, but it's still so mind-boggling to me because I take my dogs on a walk and I don't see a single soul. I don't see a dog. I don't see it.
That must
Like,
be
I don't
so
see
nice.
anything.
Right.
I mean, there's cars like on the street, not on like in our street, but like down the way you can see cars pass, but like you don't see anybody. Everyone stays in their homes. Like
That
You
was
could probably
so,
actually listen to something in your headphones. Like, I wear headphones when I'm on walks so people don't think I'm approachable. There's nothing in them because it's not safe for me to have sound in my ears.
oh, see, like
usually
that's
call my
not even
dad.
a concept I would get. Like that's crazy.
I call my
to
dad
me.
on walks.
Yeah.
Like anytime that I go, like when I just took the dogs, it was like a 20-minute walk. I called him on the way there. And then when I left, I called him on the way home. And he was like, are you home
being
now?
like,
I'm like, yeah.
for me, my road has got so many blind spots and it's like curvy because I'm back in the woods. I couldn't even walk on my road. Like, that's not even a thing. I'm walking around my yard. Like, we can make laps around the house.
Well,
but,
you
like-
have more than enough acres to take to go on walks on.
You could get a tiny house and live on your
Could you imagine?
land.
You know,
Moving in.
I actually taught Quinn how to walk on a leash by walking her around my pool in the backyard. That's a fun fact.
I mean, they say to leash your dogs leash your puppies in the house.
Yeah.
So they get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of, like, I guess brings to some of what our conversation is today. But, like, for me, so, like, I have 6 acres at home, but my dogs
That
are on
must
an
be so
electric
nice.
fence, and I just open the door and let them out. And I don't worry about that. So, like, they're literally walking, like, they probably have an acre that they can roam, but they're not going to go further
That's
than that
nice.
because they're used to electric fence. But, like, I
That's
literally just
like a
open the door and
nice-
I'm like, have fun. See you in 20 minutes.
The amount of jealousy I feel right now is unbelievable.
Right?
that's the thing
that
for
is
me.
so nice.
My dogs have a large amount of yard to roam and to play and to run. And so, like, the idea of having to take your dog on a walk for the purpose of exercise is something that is unknown to me. I don't walk my dogs. So, unpopular opinion, my dogs don't go on walks. Not because I don't want to. I have a bad knee. That's a whole nother conversation. But my dogs get exercise through playing in the yard. And something I just talked to somebody about recently on Instagram was intentional versus like free time. And a lot of the exercise my dogs do get is free time. It's not intentional like you guys that have to walk your dogs. But something I've been working on a little bit more is intentional time outside, because I feel like they get more stimulation when there is intentional yard time rather than letting them go play. Because Skylar will run for hours if you let her. Like, she will go outside and not come back. Like, you have to be intentional about calling her back inside and be like, sit down, take a break. So something I've been like trying to like play into is like, going outside with them, having intentional time outside, letting them run, but like making them come back every once in a while and running again and things like that. And I feel like that wears them out more.
Awesome.
Yeah, using their brains
it's just
too.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly, which like stimulates another aspect than just physical exercise. One of my dogs just goes outside and lays down and doesn't move, but that's, you know,
that sounds like two of
that's
mine.
Fine.
Sounds like me as a human.
Just you go there, it's fine, whatever. But Sky is like nonstop. And now Sora is sometimes nonstop. Sometimes she's like, I'll just lay here and eat a stick and be perfectly content. So it's mainly Sky that we do like intentional outside time with rather than the other two. But it's just interesting. It's interesting the differences and like how we have to be intentional with like, okay, because I know for y'all, before we get on our calls, you're like, okay, I have to go walk my dogs so they're a little bit more calm. And I'm like, okay, I have to go let my dogs outside while I make dinner so they're a little bit more calm. And it's like
sometimes that doesn't work.
See, for me, I have a dog door, but they're on like the dog door is only access to, I wouldn't even, would you say that's 25% of my yard? Not even. I think like 15% of my yard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not a big portion. They can let themselves out. I mean, they go outside, but they can't, they could play if they wanted to, but they're not going to. I have to go out there and open the gate to my pool for them to run. But I don't like leaving that open, and I don't like them running around it without me. Tyson and Quinn, they know how to swim. They're fine. They know how to get out. Diamond knows how to get out. She swims kind of like a cat, but like she won't drown, but still rather not play with those chances. And Ivy is the worst swimmer I've ever seen.
Oh, poor Ivy.
She's like a cat. She's 100. Okay, you know what? I take it back. Diamond is not a cat in water. Ivy is a cat in water, and she will claw her way out. She fell into the pool, and like we had to jump in after her because she was completely freaking out. She couldn't get out. I was like, this absolutely not, never again. Like we have to be more on top of her by the pool. And mind you, it wasn't even like we were far away from the pool. We were by the grill. We were by the grill, which is only a few feet from the pool. And I'm like, how?
Yeah. It's on the pool deck.
What do you mean? Like, how does this happen? So when they're out there and they're having their Zoomies, we have to be like full attention to make sure that nobody misses a step. Nobody like accidentally falls in. Like, so I am very jealous of you guys and all of your land.
This is
my
another
dogs
like
too.
a difference too. So like for Brittney and Nikki, how do your dogs leave the house every day, every other day? How often do they leave the house?
Every day.
I feel like Nikki's a lot better than that.
Because I don't have a yard. I have a little slab of concrete that they can go to the bathroom on. So like, that's nice. But they can't Zoom me. If they're Zooming on my property, it's inside my house. They leave the house 3 times a day for walks or adventures.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to look at my app that tracks where Ella is, and she has not left the house in 130 days.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
wild.
Oh, but it's your property.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
she's outside. She's arguably probably outside more than my dogs are. And
I also have to say that app really, really outs me.
Same.
Like I'll take them outside because I have a patch of grass in front of our house. So we'll sit outside and we'll get like our sniffies in. I'll sit and I'll throw like the ball in the front of the house for Quinn. Because we're also working on like impulse control, like making sure that she doesn't pass like the threshold. And then I'm sitting there and I'm doing throwing treats into the grass for Ivy. But yeah, I'll get a notification. It's like, they haven't left the house in 3 days. I'm like, but technically they did. They're meeting their steps. Like
I didn't even know that was a notification that app does.
Oh yeah,
because it's never
outs me.
It's never happened to
every
me.
single day. Yeah.
And like if it's raining, let me backtrack. My dogs will not go outside in the rain. We are not rain walkers. I would put on a jacket, I'd put an umbrella on, and I would go. They won't. That's fine. So we're still leaving the house if it's raining. We're packing up, we're getting in the car, we're driving to a dog-friendly store, and we're walking until they meet their daily step goal on that app, which is probably about an hour at minimum. in a store just to hang out. But the people that work at the store know us.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer
love
strange. Sometimes I'll say to the girls, like, oh, we're on our meeting. I have to take the dogs somewhere, or can I walk and talk because I need to get out before it's dark out if I don't want to drive them somewhere. And I'll prop them up, in my pocket or whatever, and we'll continue, but I'm walking. If I want to run them, I have to rent a sniff spot.
That's wild.
And
Just
yeah,
come to Georgia.
Yeah.
Head to Georgia.
Just come to
Georgia was.
Literally.
I'll give you a yard.
They have to rent someone else's yard or
That's
place
wild.
and
That's
take
interesting.
them, because I don't own that. And
I should rent
I'm
my
not
yard.
gonna, you probably should. I'm not gonna take them to a public dog park that has other dogs in it. So my only other option is to pay for space that I know that I have. But that also doesn't work if it's raining.
See, that's
because they won't do
interesting.
that.
I take them to, there's a playground by my house, so I'll take them there in the middle of the night. And by
I don't trust
playground,
mine off
it's-
leash. That's
Oh, we close the gates because
Oh.
it's attached to a public school, so there's gates all around it.
nice. Ours
So
are
like
locked.
we go in at like 11 o'clock and we'll close the gates because I do not really trust Ivy off the leash.
Yeah.
It's to an extent, but like completely open, absolutely not. I'll do that.
That's nice.
Or I found like a grass patch, like it's like a 20-minute walk from my house that I let them in there. I mean, there's 2 entrances that she could very easily get out of, but as long as I'm on top of her, she's fine.
We have one place like that that's
Oh,
free,
interesting.
and one place like that by my parents' house in the suburbs. One's a baseball field. One is like a little patch of grass that a dog-friendly corporate offices use. And so I use that off hours because they don't mind. But other than that, and that's still public. So if people are there, I'm leaving. And we have significant leash laws in Philadelphia. So I also can't have them on leashes that are longer than 6 feet. And I also can't have them off leash.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there are certain places that I can have them as long as they're on a leash. It doesn't matter how long it is. But for the most part, leash dogs 6 feet and
I wonder
under.
if New York has that.
Probably
Like if
something
they have
similar.
that kind of law.
See, with Sky and Sora, they're a little bit more active than my other dog. And I have like started this thing, which the plan was on Tuesday night before our little scandal. I'm trying to get better at taking the dogs outside of the house. They have a massive yard to play in, but that's good and all, and it's great for them. But sometimes they need something different, something they can smell and, have more freedom in, and just something where they can go by themselves and leave the house. So I'm trying to work on like that one-on-one time with them while also taking them to different places, because half the time if we wanted to go somewhere that wasn't my backyard, we would have to go to like Home Depot, a dog-friendly store, and we don't have dog-friendly stores except Home Depot. So, and even there it's like there's like hardly ever dogs there, so I feel a little bit less anxious about taking them there. But like you can't really socialize them, you can't really take them out very many places, and so it's kind of like you have to get really creative. But I did find like a little park that has a massive field and they can just run to their heart's content, which is amazing. We took Sora there a few nights ago and she did not like it. She did not want to leave my side. So I was like, well, this kind of defeated the purpose. But she did really good at just like laying with me and just kind of taking in the different views and everything, which I'm hoping as she gets older, she'll utilize it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, at the moment,
I do have to say that's not a terrible thing. Quinn's the same way. And if you are interested in trying to service her, she's kind of showing she's
Fine.
she's kind of showing the same things Quinn's does. Maybe you just need to like find something that lures her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely needs something to encourage her that she can walk away from me and it's going to be okay. People keep trying to like take her like and try to get her like encourage her to like explore things. My mom's always like, Sora, come here, and she just looks at me like, am I allowed to? Like, can I?
So that is something that I will say that my dogs, I think, get more than the typical dog is new places, smells. We call them adventures. We don't have a lot of green space in the city, so I don't like to take them to the same places over and over and over again because I feel like because they don't get to run as much. So someone said to me once that walking for a dog is not optimal exercise, which I think it is exercise, but what they meant was dogs need to run.
You're not running them?
Yeah, like dogs need to be able to run, which is something that mine lack due to space. And they're short-legged, lazy boys, so I'm sure that they don't mind too much, but they still need to get their zoomies out and also run so they can stay healthy and at the appropriate weight. So we like to take them to new places so they can have new sniffs, new smells, so it's all different, so they can get that kind of mental sniffing out, and then they run in the house. They play zoomies, they chase each other. It's safe. I know that they're not going to run away. So it's a little bit opposite for us, which I think is weird, which is why my house is always a nightmare. But I will bring like their kibble or something and throw it in the grass so they can sniff around just to encourage them to start sniffing because sometimes they have trouble getting started. And then instead of using like a lick mat or a snuffle feeder at home, I use the grass, and then we come home and they get their running in.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, my dogs don't like snuffles. They're weird. They get frustrated and they wind up like throwing it in the air for everything to come out. But they love smelling for things in the grass. Make that make sense.
Well, Ziggy's the same way. Ziggy would rather die than eat out of a snuffle feeder. Toad loves it. But throw a little bit of kibble in the grass and he literally thinks.
Love that.
And snuffle, are you meaning like, what do you meaning when you say snuffle?
Like
those things that you put like the treats in and like hide them.
Like a mat that you like pour kibble on top of. It has like
fabric
kind of like antennas coming out, and then they have to like get in there.
Get that? Yeah.
If you're watching
like
this,
some of them. I know. I was like, oh wait, my. Why?
My dogs are fresh or raw fed, so I thought that. But I can't. Yeah, I'm not putting raw food on them.
I do have a couple of silicone
like
ones that I love.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
See, like I don't know.
We're too drooly for the fabric ones.
I tried doing a puzzle feeder, and it just didn't go over well with my bunch. So we stick with slow feeders, and we stick with lick mats. They love them, and that's kind of as far as mine go.
And Skylar is my only dog that likes puzzles. She is obsessed with puzzles. My other two dogs could care less. I say a lot of things like I group Sora in with either one or the other, but I feel like she's going to be like my interesting dog that has like weird things she likes, weird things she doesn't like. But so far she doesn't like them. Skylar, obsessed. Like she will be freaking out when you put one in front of her because she knows what she's about to get to do. But I did realize that all of my dogs are obsessed with finding treats in the grass. So typically after I train with Sora, whatever treats are left in my pouch, I'll just go and toss them into the grass and let them go at it. And they love that. So that's like one of the best ways we get enrichment.
Agreed.
That's one of my favorite things for them to get enrichment. Honestly, like I get to sit outside, get some sun.
Yep.
I don't really have to do much. Just sit there with my jar of treats and we just go, wee.
I do it in city parks. We bring a blanket, we bring snacks, we might bring a bottle of wine. I
love
hook them
that.
up to each other, and then I hook them up to my waist leash and let them go to town.
I want to
Love
start
that.
doing that in parks just to get them socialized more. Also, I want to say, because you were saying by you don't really have much grass.
Mhm.
Yes, we both live in the city, but I
Oh, yeah.
think you live more like city life where I'm more in the suburbs.
I'm in city proper. You're
But I'm not,
A
I
little
wouldn't
bit
even,
outside?
I don't know if, I wouldn't even say that this is the suburbs. It's
you have grass in front of your house.
like, yes.
I don't.
But our properties aren't as big as the suburbs. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an in between.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all have been talking a lot about parks, and I think that in itself is a very interesting concept, because I say park that I take my dogs to, and by park I literally mean it is a road that's like not even gravel, like it's just like a non-pavement road that you just turn off to, and it's just an open field. Like, it's so secluded, no one knows about it, and it has like a pond, but that's
It's amazing.
That
my
sounds so
park.
nice.
It's literally the only one of its kind. I'm so glad that we found it because it's amazing and I love going there. But as far as like parks, hiking, trails, anything of that nature, we don't have them.
That's our life.
And I'm not sure if that's like a city thing versus country thing, or if it's just where I live, because I live on a map dot. I don't know, but we have none of that. Like,
I think it's where you live.
I think because
It
I live in
probably
the
is.
country and I have like it's our Parks and Rec, and they have it's probably like 600 acres, and it's half of it's wooded, half of it's a field, and there's a bunch of trails back there, and there's horse trails, and then they also have a dog park, which is
That
a
sounds
different
so cool.
subject for a
Yeah.
different day. We avoid the dog park at all costs, and we'll go down the human walking trails. So I think that's probably just like the county you live in.
I think it has to
like
be.
that's crazy
You have
because
that.
you have all this land. I'm surprised that they don't,
Do something with it.
right?
I
But
mean,
I'm
there's
all
wondering.
like farmers.
Meanwhile,
land.
it's all
New
flat.
York doesn't.
I
Oh
was-
yeah.
But there's like where I am, I'm by the mountains. We're right by a national park. Nothing and nothing is flat here. So I think that might be the difference
But
of
also, it might not be public land. Like it
It's
might.
Well, they
not.
can't
All of our land is
build on it.
accessed. So like our land, everyone owns it. Like,
yeah, we have a
it's
lot
not
of
just-
protected land
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they can't flatten, they can't build on, which is nice. I mean, I live in an
See,
interesting
but like
area,
even
I think.
for, sorry,
No, that's okay.
even for like us with some of our hiking trails, they're flat. They're not really ups and downs.
It's probably just county. It's probably city owned.
Interesting.
Like I live
We have one dog park, and it is like no one would want to bring their dogs to this dog park.
because you guys don't need it.
But it's like
Yeah.
it's small. Like there's no purpose for it, because typically everyone here has a yard, unless you
Yeah.
live in an apartment. But apartments, there's not a ton of those here. And if you have an apartment, you probably don't own a dog. So it's like no one really utilizes the park because it's so small. It's like we'd rather just go take them to like a open field or to like somewhere, a backyard, anything. And so it's just interesting that we don't have that space. I wish we did. I wish we had trails. I wish we had like parks to go to, or trails, like hikes, whatever. But it's just unexistent here. And so, like I said, we have to get creative when we're trying to socialize. Even our downtown, it's a strip.
Yeah.
Like there's a strip with some stores that are closed on it and a few restaurants. And that's our
Yeah.
downtown. So it's
I
like
don't
there's
have the
nowhere to
downtown.
go to like bring your dogs to see people or see
Yeah.
other dog. Like there's nothing. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, I can't
to
walk out my
socialize
house.
your dogs here.
Without like
Seeing
I
somebody.
socialize them on my front porch, or well, it's a stoop. I don't have a porch. But I think something
a
to
stoop,
notice.
too.
Yeah. It probably takes me the same amount of time to get in my car and drive to something like what you're explaining, Caroline, as it does for you. So while I'm very, very much in the city, I'm right by the highway and 10 minutes away from the suburbs. So I have the access and the ability to go to these places. I just very much am a city person and would prefer to walk places. Like I'm not used to having to get in my car and going places. So no matter how close they are, that feels foreign to me. And it feels more difficult than just being able to take my dog out my front door and walk to one of the 3 dog parks that are within a mile of us and utilize those, but I choose not to.
I'm the same way. I rather walk to the park over here or to that little field over there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so
Creature of
fun
habit.
for my dogs to be able to do those things. But I also feel like Skylar would hate it and be like, too many people, I don't like this. Let me go back home. I feel like they wouldn't actually like it. But in my mind, I'm like, oh man, it'd be so fun to just be like, walk out the door and take a walk and be around people and cars and busyness and walk 5 minutes and be at a coffee place. That is just so unheard of. You have to actually get in your car and you have to take a 10-minute drive to a coffee place. Yep. It would just be so nice in my mind, but also we're so used to this life and living like we do. So it'd be a culture shock for all of us, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But
for sure.
She would also hate to be in a building here. They're noisy. My dogs
so much
don't like to sleep in the suburbs because there's too many other animal sounds. And they're not used to that. They're used to the people and the cars and the trucks. But when we went away for the first time with both of them to the Pocono Mountains, none of us slept the first night because they could not get over the fact that there were other animal sounds outside. And it was so dark.
And that's how I am when I go to the city. Opposite.
Yeah.
Same.
Because of all the noises.
I'm like, oh my gosh, so many cars.
Yeah. I'm so used to the noises that if it's too quiet, I can't sleep. And this is me. So could you imagine my dogs? I have to sleep with the fan on. And I'm not talking about the fan up here, the one that actually makes noise.
Yep. Same.
That's interesting. It's dead quiet here except the frogs. Frogs are always making noises, or the crickets.
Crazy.
But
I was about to say
I don't think I'd be able to sleep.
No, I hate crickets.
Dead silent and dark.
That's
pitch black.
All the dogs and I will literally sit on the front porch and just at pitch black, listen to the little frogs and crickets chirp, 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 chirp all night long.
Yep.
Could do it all night long.
Same here. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you got some insight on how we fulfill our dog's needs in different ways, depending on where we live. We are going to go into our questions now. Our first question is, what is your favorite trick/task that each of your dogs knows? For me, Skylar knows how to calm me down from a panic attack. So I think that's pretty cool. Sora right now doesn't really know much, but I would say collectively all of my dogs know how to say sorry and they know how to say please. And I think those are my favorite. They use their paws for both, but it is probably the cutest thing ever. Sora has picked up very quickly that she can just apologize with using her little paw and we forgive her instantly. So that is probably my favorite. Nikki, what about you?
I'm going to be really honest. My dogs don't know that many tricks. They are not. They're well behaved, but not well trained, if that makes sense. So I will tell you that my least favorite trick that I taught Ziggy is paw, because that boy uses that for everything. And it is the worst. Because sometimes you just can't have it. He'll go over to where he knows that we keep the long chews and he will take that paw and scratch that door. Well, not scratch it. He's putting his paw on the door and looking at me. And I know exactly what he wants, but you can't have it. I wish you never learned that. We are really working on Toad's ability to focus on us instead of his triggers. And he has had some big wins lately. So I would say that that's my favorite thing there is he will now look at his triggers, but no hackles up, no growling, no barking. And then the moment that I say come, he does this little hop that like, oh, someone needs me, and then turns around and reports right back to in between my
That's so
feet. And
cute.
I love it so much. I'll try and get it on video because it is adorable, but usually I'm
Please do.
focusing on him. What about you, Alexis?
I would say for Buster, my favorite trick that I taught him was give kisses. And I mean, like, it don't matter if he's laying down, sitting up, but if I'm standing, he'll jump up and literally kiss me, like with his snout and kiss me.
I love that.
Buster probably knows the most tricks out of all of them. Ella does not know that many. I think with her, she's also a pawer. So she'll come up and like if she wants you to pet her, she'll smack you. And I'm like, no, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
But also shake is my favorite thing that she does because she does it so cutely. She like smacks it at you. And then Hudson, by far recall. He is my only dog that knows recall, and he could be 100 yards away. If he's not 100% distracted with something and he has his e-collar, he will turn and come to me. He's the only one that has even the slightest bit of recall. But Britt, last but not least.
I'm definitely going to agree with you with the recall. That is definitely one of my favorites of Quinn. What she recently started doing is if I'm standing or if I'm talking to somebody or if we're outside, if I'm inside, if, like I said, if I'm standing, she will go into a middle, which I love. Like I took her to my dad's house this past weekend and I was standing to him, and instead of her being in everybody's way, she just kind of like stuck her snout between my legs and put herself in the middle and just sat there. My dad was like, what is she doing? And I'm like, she's just, we're just hanging out. And he's like, that's amazing. Like he was literally mind blown. Like, how did you do this with your dog? This is amazing. And yes, I taught her how to do a middle, but I did not teach her to do that, like to help herself to go there, which
I love
honestly, one of my favorites. I don't have a favorite task as all of her tasking is really beneficial to me. And I will add in, because I have 4 dogs, I'm not going down the list with all 4 of them, but I will add in, I did not teach Ivy paw, and whenever she's being affectionate or mushy, she'll kind of give you like a pet with her paw, and it's so cute. I love it. Like I feel like she thinks it's a sign of like endearment or something because
she's petting you back.
Mm-hmm. She's very like, thanks, Mom.
I love that.
So our next question is, what do you do in your free time? I am a gamer girl. I love gaming. I don't really do it often because I'm typically just trying to survive and then rest if I have an ounce of free time. But if I do have free time, my absolute favorite thing to do is game. So if we have any other gamers out there, please let me know because I'm obsessed with it. And I recently found out Nikki also games. So that's super exciting for me because I now have a buddy. It depends. I'll do like a first person. Can I even say that word on here? I don't know if we're gonna like.
Probably not. Pew pew.
If you're a gamer, I don't know. Look it up. An FPS game or like a Call of Duty type game, or like.
You're getting rid of the bad guys.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Or like a relaxing, comfy couch game. Just kind of depends on the mood.
Games.
I love GTA. That's my go-to.
It's a good one.
That's so funny. That's a good one. It just depends on the mood. I play a variety. So that's what I do in my free time. Nikki, how about you?
A little bit of that, but not the FPS games. I'm not good at them. My hand-eye coordination is severely lacking. I get frustrated. And that's the opposite of what I want when I'm playing games. I'm much more in the cozy game category, which is building little villages for, if you are as old as me, it makes me feel like I have like a Tamagotchi that I'm keeping alive again, or like a little Pokemon in my pocket. But yeah, I play one game where I farm, which is very funny for if you've listened to any other episodes and heard me talk about wildlife, farm animals, or anything like that. And
Very
so
on brand.
the lack of knowledge I have about cows, I can make up for in crops, oddly enough.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, or I can build a little village for people, or I just actually started playing with my husband Overcooked, which
that's a
an
good one.
amazing game.
so fun. I'm definitely the head chef of the family. I get very bossy, but I love it so much. Other than that, I like to read books or just like take my dogs on a walk. I know that seems so weird, but yeah. What about you, Alexis?
I'm a crafty person, so I haven't done crafts in a while, but I am a crafty person. Like I can make stickers or sew and make bandanas and stuff like that, but I haven't done it in a while. Lately, I've just been literally laying on the sofa watching TV. So,
Fair.
But I mean, hey, it's something. But yeah, that's about it for me. Britt, what about you?
Before I answer, I just want you to know I still have the bandana you made. I still have it.
Ivy didn't eat it.
No, she did not. She did not get to it. I have it in a safe place. This is hard. Personally, I don't feel like I have free time, which is why I've been filled with anxiety lately, because I feel like I don't have enough hours in my day. I feel like I should be doing more, or I could be doing more. And then I look back and I feel like I don't do enough. So I think after my vacation this week, I need to set better boundaries, because saying that out loud is not good. Like I should have some kind of, I should have some kind of outlet. And yes, I enjoy taking my dogs out, but like even when I take them out, I feel like I'm working because I'm getting content. I'm doing these and I'm still thinking about content, and
you're training. I mean,
yeah. Well, like training to me is an outlet, but it's because I'm not giving myself the break, because I feel like I need to be producing more content and I need to be thinking about the next 5 steps that I don't have
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like to me, my downtime really isn't the downtime that it used to be. So
yeah,
unfortunately, that is my answer.
You need a brain break.
I need a brain break. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we can't wait for you to tune in next. Bye.
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 You can find us on Instagram at Pawfectly Unleashed. Head over there, let us know what you want to hear, ask us questions. Everything will stay anonymous, so no worries about that. You can stream our podcast at Pawfectly Unleashed on Spotify and YouTube, coming soon to Apple Podcasts.